Great. All right, looks like we've got a few students joining. Great. Wait a couple minutes,
Yes.
see who else arrives. Okay, do we want to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, I think we can start. And those who will join later, they will definitely get the recording, so they'll be ready.
Okay. Okay, great. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm really excited to host this presentation and welcome Mr. Mahajan and his associates from Raju Law. Some of you may have been here last year when they gave a presentation. Very well received. A lot of great information to give our students kind of about the next steps to stay in the U.S. after being a student. So I'm the expert on what you do when you're a student, when you're on your OPT. But beyond that, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm very happy to hand it over to Mr. Mahajan, who is a lawyer and can tell you all of the legal aspects of immigration after Stephen F. Austin State University. So,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very much, Heather. You can call me Raju.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Heather. And also, last year, I still remember, I went there, I think in the month of September. Yeah, September month, this month, in your city, Nakuk. I really enjoyed this. It's a small town with a lot of good people. I met a lot of good people there. This year, I had a plan to go, but things got changed. But next year, hopefully, I'll be there um, in next September. And I really appreciate SAF State University to giving me this opportunity to talking in front of international students. I was an international student myself, so I feel their journey. I know their life, so it's really helpful for them, and I would like to be part of in their journey. So I really enjoy talking to them about immigration law and everything. And those who are participating today, I advise you to be in touch with Heather and her office. very actively, because international office is really important. A lot of people, they don't know. They just, they start school and then they totally forget about international school, international student department. It's really important be in touch, because many time many information get changed, many requirement get changed. You will get informed by international office. It's really important for you to be in touch, and I'll talk more about those in a minute. But before that, let me start my presentation. So these are the talking points, and any of you want to ask me question after this, and I'll talk around like a 30 to 45-minute kind of presentation. And after that, if you have any question, I'm happy to answer any question you have. Like I do not have any time limit. You can ask me any question. So the very first thing is OPT and CPT. Many of you already know that once you graduate, you will get 1 year of OPT, no matter what you study. It's first 1 year of OPT is for everyone. However, those who study STEM subject, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math subject, you will get 2 more years of OPT. Sometimes there's no confusion about the STEM subjects. Sometimes there's some confusion. Some business schools, some business program, they are STEM designated. So whether a subject, a program is a STEM program or not, you will be able to know it from that particular department. Also, your international office will be able to tell you which department is the STEM department, which is not, so that you can plan ahead. Please do not wait until you apply for OPT and then you know, like, oh, sorry, my subject is not a STEM subject, so I'm getting only 1 year. So I advise you to know before you do anything. One thing you should remember, if you take any OPT time before you graduate, so let's say in the summertime, in the regular school time, if you take OPT to work in the summertime or in a semester, those times would be deducted from your OPT after graduation. It's called pre-completion OPT. If you take any OPT time as a pre-completion OPT, that would be deducted from your post-completion OPT. And post-completion OPTs are really important. That's why unless you really, really need to work somewhere under OPT, you can use I advise you not to use your post-completion OPT time. You should keep it for future. On the other hand, CPT is different. CPT is not fixed, is not automatically come with, as an international student, you will not get it. CPT depends on the subject, the program. Some program have like almost 11 months of CPT, some have like a 6 month CPT, some even have no CPT at all. So it depends on your program. Talk to your program director, talk to your secretary of the department. Also, you can talk to your international office. They will be able to tell you if there's any CPT in your program. Nowadays, a lot of schools, they have CPT so that students can work off campus with the permission from the school under CPT. It's really important because sometimes you get like a first-hand knowledge, and also you can build a good connection with corporations where you can apply for OPT after graduation. So if you have any question about the number of CPT, duration, how to get it, please contact your international office, especially DSO, designated school officials. They are equipped to answer these questions. Another thing about CPT, there's a program, it's called Day 1 CPT. So under Day 1 CPT program, if you have a degree in America, if you apply for a second degree, and if the second degree is a Day 1 CPT approved program, then you will get CPT from the day one, and you do not have to go to school regularly. You do not have to attend class regularly. You just have to either take one exam at the end of the semester or just write one paper at the end of the semester just to barely keep your student status. You'll be able to work full time. Now, many people, they think this Day 1 CPT is not a legal program. It sounds so illegal kind of things. It's not true. It's 100% legal. But not all schools, not all programs are Day 1 CPT approved. So what you have to do is you have to Google it, like Day 1 CPT program near me, and you will get the schools. You have to call their international office, their admission office, and you have to ask them if they are Day 1 CPT approved, if they have any program that is Day 1 CPT program, and what are the requirements. Now, many of you may ask me, why you need a Day 1 CPT program? The answer is, sometime, let's say you graduated from your program, you got OPT, first 1 year of OPT, then under STEM you got second 2 years of OPT. All OPTs are done. Your corporation applied for your H-1B. You are not lucky enough. Your application did not pick up in the lottery. Now you're almost you have to leave America, but you really don't want to go back home. You want to stay here. In that kind of situation, day one CPT really helps. Of course, at this moment, all of your international students, you do not need day one CPT at this moment, but just keep this in your mind and get some knowledge. So in case if you need it in future, that would be helpful. Economic hardship work authorization. So as an international student, you are only allowed to work 20 hours on campus. And by on campus, it means if your payroll is run by the school, even though there's a pizza store on campus, it's a separate business. If you work for the pizza store, that will not be approved for on-campus job unless it is authorized by the school. I get this question all the time. Hey, can I drive Uber on campus? Our campus is a big campus. A lot of students, they need Uber. The answer is no. Uber is a private company. If you work for Uber, that's not allowed under F1 visa status. 20 hours on campus, meaning your payroll is run by the school. So if you receive salary, that is thing. However, sometimes some students, they may have economic hardship. So let's say because there was flood in your country, there's like a cyclone or some kind of natural disaster, or your one of your parents or someone significant in your family died, and because of that the financial situation is very bad. So under those kind of economic hardship situation, you can apply for economic hardship work authorization. And in general, you will get for 1 year. Sometime you can apply for an extension and they may renew it. But in general, people get for 1 year. And with this work authorization, you can work off campus in the field related to your subject. Not everybody will qualify it. Not everybody will get it. But if you qualify it, if you apply, if you get it, then you can use it. Please do not assume that you'll get it automatically. It's not automatic thing. The only thing is automatic you'll get it is the first 1 year of OPT. Pretty much everybody will qualify it. There is no requirement. Oh, by the way, for OPT and STEM OPT, for OPT, regular OPT, you do not need a job upfront. You can apply for OPT, get it approved, and after you get the OPT in your hand, you have 60 days to find a job. And that can be a paid job or unpaid job, anything is okay. On the other hand, for STEM OPT, you have to have a paid job. And you have to mention that job designation and all the information about the salary in your STEM OPT application, and then your STEM OPT will be approved. Without a paid job, your STEM OPT will not be approved. So that's the big difference between a regular OPT and a STEM OPT. Now I'm talking about H-1B and H-4s. So H-1B is like a work visa. Under H-1B, you'll first get 3 years of work visa. After that, you can apply for renewal. Another 3 years, you'll get a total 6 years. There is another law to go beyond 6 years of H-1B. It's called AC-21, American Competitiveness in the 21st Century. I don't think you need that at this moment, but just keep this information for future. You can technically stay in H-1B after 6 years of H-1B. But for first one, there is two major categories. One is for-profit corporation, one is non-profit corporation. For-profit corporations and some non-profit corporations, there is a lottery in the month of March of every year. You cannot apply by yourself. Your company must apply for you. So let's say under your OPT, you got a job with the ABC Corporation and your HR manager is very happy with you. They agreed to apply for you. They will apply for in the lottery for you. And if your application is picked up, then it will go to the second part. It's called I-129. Again, the company must apply I-129 for you. You cannot apply by yourself. And by company apply mean they can hire an attorney, they can work with the attorney will work for the corporation. So in H-1B application, when companies contact us, our clients are the corporation, not you. You are the beneficiary. You are not my client. The corporation is. So every year in the month of March, the lottery happens. And then in the same year, in October 1, you can start working. Even though you get picked up in the lottery, even though your H-1B petition is approved, you cannot start working until October 1 of that year. So a lot of times they feel like, oh, my H-1B is approved, I'm going to start working from next month. That's not true. That's for-profit corporation. Some non-profit corporations who do research kind of work or who are affiliated with universities, in most cases it's either university or a research organization, they have cap exemption, meaning there is no lottery. They can apply for H-1B any time of the year. You can get it approved and you can start working anytime. That's the beauty to work for universities or like research organizations. So, but not all nonprofits are cap exempt. Sometimes some people contact us and say, hey, I got a job with a nonprofit and I'd like to apply for H-1B. My company would like to apply for H-1B. And I check and I said, no, your nonprofit is not qualified to be cap exempt. So you have to check whether your nonprofit organization is cap exempt or not. And the best way to know upfront is whether they do any kind of research work or affiliated with a university. If it's not, then most likely they're not cap exempt. If they're not cap exempt, then you have to go through the regular process, which is participate in the lottery in the month of March. The reason there's a lottery is only 85,000 people will get H-1B visa every year. And usually like 300,000, 400,000 applications are there. That's why they would like to pick up the winners through the lottery. And it's a pure luck-based lottery. There's no merit. So you have to be prepared for that. However, if your H-1B application is approved under a corporation, you can transfer it to another corporation if the position and the job you're going to do is very same or similar. And by similar, USCIS cutoff is like a 50%. It's just 50% kind of similar kind of work, then you can transfer. And transfer process is pretty much same like a regular H-1B application. The only difference is in this case, you do not have to participate in the lottery again. You just apply for transfer. And both the new corporation and old corporation, they must agree with this transfer. So it's kind of like a transferring your H-1B from one corporation to another corporation. Another thing is called concurrent H-1B. Once you are under a regular H-1B, you can apply for another job and get a second job under concurrent H-1B. Technically, you can have two full-time jobs, but my advice is to get one full-time and another part-time. The part-time one can be concurrent H-1B because doing full-time job like working 16 hours a day is really hard. It would have a huge toll on your personal life, both physical and mental health. So I advise to get one full-time and one part-time. Now you may ask, why in the world I will take a second job? I'm already tired with my first job. So this concurrent H-1B is sometimes helpful. Let me give you an example. So under H-1B, if you lose a job, you have to find a new job within 60 days. If you cannot find a job within 60 days window, then you lose your H-1B. And most likely you lose your status. Then you have to go back to your home country. However, if you have a regular H-1B as a main job and concurrent H-1B as a part-time job as a concurrent H-1B, then what you can do is, if you lose your main job, then you can make your concurrent H-1B as your main job. Full-time, you can make it a full-time job and you can transfer the part-time job as a main H-1B. Or you can keep it as a concurrent and you can try to start finding a full-time job to be transferred. But no matter what you do, that 60-day period will not start because you already have a current job, which is called concurrent job. That's why the folks who work, especially in IT industry, where job market is very volatile, people lose job like left and right, and also they get very good job too. In those kind of situation, concurrent H-1B is really helpful. It will help you stay in America, and those 60 days clock will not start even if you lose job for any reason. Those who are under H-1B, their dependents are H-4 dependents. So let's say Mr. X is under H-1B, his wife, Miss Y, and children will be H-4. Not all H-4 dependents will get work permit. Only there's two conditions. If H-1B person meets two criteria, any of those two criteria, then their age for dependents, especially the wife or this I should say spouse, will get work permit. Number one, if the H-1B petitioner has the approved I-140. I'm going to talk about approved I-140 in a minute. Just keep that in your mind. If they either have a approved I-140 or they already passed their 6 years of H-1B and now they are in H-1B beyond 6 years, meaning under SC 21 law. So either you pass 6 years, now you're beyond 6 year period, or you have approved I-140, then your spouse will get a work authorization to work in America. Otherwise, they will have no work authorization. Now I'm going to talk about EB2. So there are two major categories of EB2. So EB2 is the basically green card application, and at this moment, I would say 95% of international students they get green card through EB2. That's why it's kind of very important to pay attention. So there are two major categories of EB2. One is called regular. Many people call it PERM, and the other one is NIW. And many of you will be probably interested for NIW. I'll talk that in a minute. Before that, so the PERM-based EB2 is an employer-sponsored green card application, meaning you cannot apply by yourself. Your corporation must apply for you. And there's three parts. The first one is PERM, the second one is I-140, and third one is I-485/IVP. So the first part, PERM, this is basically the corporation's application. They are going to apply to Department of Labor. So when an American corporation wants to hire a foreign person, and by foreign person, that includes international students. So basically, anybody who is not a US citizen, not a green card holder, is a foreign person, no matter where they live in. When a corporation wants to hire a foreign person, they must make sure a few things. Number one, they are not depriving any local person, they are not depriving any qualified person. Number two, they will pay you the same salary that they would give it to a local person. And also the work environment, work hours and all the other environment would be very same like an American person. Only then they can sponsor a non-US person. So PERM application is basically the same the process to ensure that they are not finding a local person, they're paying you the same salary, and the work environment is the same. I'm not going that deep into the PERM process because if you have any question, I'll answer it. Otherwise, just keep in mind that the PERM application is to Department of Labor. Once PERM is approved, then I-140 application. I-140 is, by the way, PERM takes approximately 12 to 18 months total from beginning to end. After that, the I-140 takes fairly short time. It's only 4 to 5 weeks. There's a premium processing. It will get it approved. Once someone's PERM is approved, then I-140 will be approved almost certainly, 90% chance your I-140 will be approved. Once I-140 is approved, then you kind of wait for your priority date to be present in the visa bulletin. If any of you have question about visa bulletin, there's a lot of YouTube videos. You can Google it. I also have a YouTube video I also have a YouTube channel, and I discuss about visa bulletin. I'm not going to discuss that here, but you can easily learn about visa bulletin from YouTube or Google. So basically, you have to wait for your serial. Once your serial is there, you apply for I-485. If you are in America, you apply for I-485. If you are in a foreign country, you can still do everything. Then you have to apply for IVP, Immigration Visa Petition, to a local US embassy. And I-485 and IVP is pretty similar. The only difference is one application will go to USCIS, another application will go to embassy. Because of that complexity, there are some extra things, but other than that, it's pretty same. Once your I-485 is approved, meaning you're getting green card. So that's definitely a big achievement in your life. So, but just remember that for regular EB2, you have to be applied by a corporation. You cannot apply by yourself. On the other hand, NIW application, you can apply by yourself. This is a very lucrative application. And nowadays, I would say 70 to 80% of international students who come to America, get degree, they apply for a green card under NIW and they get it approved very fairly easily, which is very good. Compared to 10 years ago or 12 years ago, A lot of international students are getting green card way faster than before. This is a good achievements for US government. When you apply for NIW, as I said, you do not need a sponsorship. You can apply by yourself. One document is very crucial for NIW application. It's called proposed endeavor, meaning what is your future plan? Once you get green card, what are you going to do here in America? Because NIW stands for National Interest Waiver. American government is giving you a waiver for American national interest. So you have to be someone who is beneficial to America. That's why America wants to know what is your future plan. So the good proposed endeavor you can write, the better for your application. You have to mention something that is within the interest of America. And America is a big country; they have interest everywhere. So no matter what you do, that's within the interest of America. But try to be as specific as possible, especially research. If you can show that you're going to do research, and if it's research in a field where America has interest, it's good. The entire NIW application stands on this proposed endeavor. And in your proposed endeavor, try to show that you really have big dream about yourself, about your future, and also you really care about America. That is going to be helpful for your NIW application. Also, you need to collect some letter of recommendations. Especially, I advise 3 from the people you work with and 3 from the people you never work with. So the people you work with, they're dependents, and the people you never work with, they're independent recommenders. So dependent recommenders could be your professor, your supervisor, your coworker, your lab mate. Like in the summer, you work for an internship, and your boss, they can be dependent recommenders. On the other hand, those who has no interest saying good thing about you are the independent recommenders. So for example, you went to a conference and you met a professor of a different university and you had a good conversation. You can request that professor to write a recommendation letter for you. Let's say your professor at SAF has a good friend in another university and you met the professor in some conference or somewhere, you can request that person. Any industry expert can also be independent if there's no official affiliation with you. Sometimes some people ask me, how do I contact people for independent recommendations? It's not that hard. It's all about communication, especially if you are a very attentive student, you can request a professor. If you go conferences or other place, you can easily meet people and they will write recommendation letter for you. Academicians are usually very friendly. They will, and this is a very common thing. They get this kind of requests all the time, so they already know what to do. They probably already have templates, so they will just edit and write your name and some other things, and they'll give it to you. But it's not that hard to get independent recommendation letters. Other thing very important for NIW application is research plus work summaries. So let's say you have a PhD degree in, I'm saying like let's say theoretical physics, and you published 4 journals. So you can provide those research summaries, your journal summaries. Or let's say you do not have a PhD degree, you do not have research, that's okay. Let's say you have some work experience. You can mention your work summaries for NIW application. Those are also important. Another really, really important part for NIW application is economic impact analysis, meaning your proposed endeavor, your field of research, your background, how that is going to do economically beneficial to America. America is a very business country. So the more like a dollar value, the number you put in your application, that's good for you. So let's say you have a degree in, let's say chemistry, and you did some research in, let's say, you developed a, molecular agent or something. And then if you can say that once your research is complete, if any company use your research to develop a product or service, America will be able to save, let's say, $10 billion in next 10 years. That is really good for your NIW application. So for economic impact analysis, I advise you to do some research, especially comment platform like, New York Times, Washington Post, some research organization publications, some data from state government, federal government, municipal government to kind of like, bolden your, claim that your application is going to be beneficial to America. That's really helpful. So economic impact analysis is very helpful. And we do it from our firm to make sure that your application is very strong, and you'll get approved easily. Next topic, I'm just touching every topic within a short period. So if you have any question, I'll be able to answer everything. So EB1, so there are three EB1s. One is called EB1A, EB1B, EB1C. So I'm just touching this thing, and then we'll talk about airport immigration service a little bit, and then I'll be take question and answer. So EB1A, so EB1A is basically for celebrities. So if you're a famous actor, actress, like a famous athlete, like football player, soccer player, cricket player, EB1A is for you. However, a lot of time, like let's say you are a very famous scientist, you are a famous theoretical physicist, or you're a famous chemist in your industry, you have a lot of publication citation, you received award in your industry, then you can also apply under EB1A. Good thing about EB1A is you also do not need a sponsor. You can apply by yourself. So EB1A and NIW, these two applications, you can apply by yourself and get green card. That's why most of the people, they apply for this. So especially the folks from India, China, Mexico, and Philippines, these four, I think a couple more countries from South America too. So there's a long waiting period for EB2 NIW. That's why they also apply under EB1A. Let's say they're software engineer, they're chemist, they're physicist, you can still qualify. There are 10 criterias, and if you have to meet like three of those, but if you meet 5, that's always better, because sometimes we submit to USCIS and we say that my client meets these 3 criteria, and USCIS will say no, he or she doesn't meet this one. Then if you just submit 3, if you lose one, then your EB1A application would not be approved. On the other hand, if we can claim that you meet 5 criteria and USCIS even says, no, you do not meet these 2, at least you have 3, and then your EB1 would be approved. That's why those who are applying for EB1A, even though the requirement is to meet 3 criteria, I advise to meet at least 5 before you apply. I'm not going the detail into all the 10 criteria. If any of you are interested, please ask me a question. I'll answer it later. The second EB1 is called EB1B. It's for outstanding professors and researchers. So for EB1B, you have to be sponsored by your organization, meaning if you are an outstanding professor, your university must apply for you. You cannot apply by yourself. And by outstanding, in general, what it means is either you are a tenured track professor, or a tenured track professor. That's kind of like the benchmark for outstanding professors. For researchers, you have to be a full-time researcher. Some postdoc programs are full-time research positions. In that case, you will qualify for this EB1B. Some postdocs are not. So you have to check your employment letter. If it mentions that you are a full-time researcher for a lab under postdoc, then you qualify for EB1B. If it just says you're working as a postdoc, do not mention about full-time research position, then you do not qualify for this. Also, there are some research organizations, in America, there are like national labs. If you work for a national lab, you definitely qualify for EB1B. Also, if you work for some corporations R&D, like research and development department, you also qualify for this EB1B. However, no matter it's a university, research organization, corporations, R&D, you cannot apply by yourself. The application must come from the organization. And in this scenario, our clients are the corporation, not you. The reason I'm telling this multiple times is, let's say you are a tenured track professor at SAF, your university is applying for you through our service. You will keep sending us email about the progress and other things. And many of the information, we have attorney-client privilege. We cannot share with you. We can only share this information to the designated person appointed by the school, in general, HR person. So many times we say, sorry, we cannot share the update because you're not allowed. Even though you're the beneficiary, you are the one, even though you are going to get the green card, but you're not my client. I'm sorry. I have to, I can only share that to my client, which is the organization. I'm not going that detail into attorney-client privilege. That's a totally different discussion. But I'm just saying, sometimes I get email and I have to be sorry to say no. The last one under EB1A is certain multinational manager or executive. So let's say a organization, let's say Google. I'm just giving an example, Google. So Google has multiple offices all over the world. So let's say you work for Google's Berlin office, and now Google wants to transfer you to their, let's say, San Francisco office. And then Google can not only transfer you there, but also they can apply for EB1C, which is certain multinational manager or executive. So here you have to remember, I don't think like any of you will be interested for this, but I'm just giving you a few information. Number one, it must be a managerial or executive position. You cannot be like an entry-level position. Number two, it must be a multinational corporation. Not all corporations are multinational. So it must be a multinational corporation. However, if you meet these two requirements, definitely your corporation can apply for you. The last topic before we go for question answer is airport immigration service. A lot of international students nowadays, I'm pretty sure not SAF, because SAF is a good university. It's a public university, especially from private for-profit universities. A lot of students, they face difficulty in airports, especially when they try to come back in the second time. So let's say you came to America to study something, and then after 6 months or 1 year, you went back to home country to visit your family. You're trying to come back, and then airport officers started asking you a lot of questions. Probably you did some mistake, those kind of situation. And after traveling like 26 hours flight, another thing, you're already exhausted. You're facing difficulty answering immigration officers' question. In that case, a lot of law firms, including our firm, we offer airport immigration service, meaning let's say you tell us upfront that, hey, I'm going to land in, let's say, Dallas Airport in September 20th, 5 p.m. Central Time. And you are scared that you'll be asked question about your job or other thing. So you retain us, you provide us all the information. One of our attorneys would be ready with all of your papers. When you pass through the immigration, if they just ask you simple biographic question, go ahead, answer those things. It's okay, no problem. If they start asking you any question that you do not feel comfortable, you can tell them, hey, I have an attorney. My attorney wants to talk to you. And then you'll have a number. You can call that number. Our attorney will talk to the officer on behalf of you. However, it doesn't mean that we'll be able to be 100% certain that you'll cross the immigration. All we can do is we can explain your situation. We can answer all the questions in the right way. And then at the end of the day, it's officer's discretion to let you go inside or not. But we can make your experience a little easier, like make it a little easier for you. And a lot of people, they take the service, and we're very happy to help people when they need, especially after flying like 26 hours long flight. You're already exhausted, so we're here to help you. So that was my short presentation. I tried to cover many topics. Also, J1. J1, I didn't cover it, but if any of you have questions about J1 or other thing, I'm happy to answer. So, Tafim, can you please read those questions from? So, anybody, if you have a question, please ask in the chat. Tafim will read it. If not, you can also unmute yourself and ask the question directly.
Yes, I think they can unmute and ask their questions directly.
Okay. And going back to Heather, if you have anything, please add.
Okay, yeah, thank you. That was amazing information. I think our students have a lot of opportunities. I don't know if we have any international athletes or anything, superstars, but yeah, great information, and hopefully our students have some questions.
Yeah, you can write it in the chat, or you can also unmute yourself and ask a question.
Maybe they're overwhelmed with all the information.
Oh. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Umrata Bassam. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Actually, I'm doing nursing BSN right now at SFA. I just wanted to know, like, you were telling everything about the I think about after the post-graduation. So can you just tell me what options I have after my BSN from SFA? And I'm an Indian citizen.
Okay. Yeah. When I say post-graduation, doesn't mean it has to be like a graduate program, even after your undergrad. So your BSN program, when you graduate, I'm pretty sure nursing is a STEM subject, but please double check with your school DSO and your program. Since it's a STEM program, first you'll get 1 year of OPT and then 2 additional years of STEM OPT. So you'll get 3 years of work permit. Now, to work as a nurse, I think you have to take like a nursing exam, which is I think totally different from this BSN program. And also this medical or nursing or law, these are very state specific. Every state has their own requirement, which is not connected to immigration. So, what I would advise you to contact Nursing Board of Texas to see what are the requirements after you graduate with a BSN degree from SAF to work. If you're not licensed to practice as a nurse, you can definitely work as a scientist because with a bachelor degree in nursing, it's a science degree. So you can definitely get like a non-nursing kind of job easily. But if you want to practice as a nurse, if you want to get a job, then you have to get a work permit through your OPT, and also you have to check what are the requirements from the nursing, like a Texas nursing board kind of thing. Did I answer your question properly? Do you have any other questions?
No, sir, that was my question. Thank you so much. Thank you for the information.
Yeah, nursing is kind of like nursing and also social work. So many of us, who are from the foreign country, these are not licensed profession in other countries, but in America, many subjects are licensed profession, like lawyer, doctor, pharmacist. So you have on the top of your regular education, you have to take a licensing exam. Once you pass the licensing exam, only then you can work. So if you are in those fields where there's a licensing exam and if there's any specific requirement, you have to follow that.
Yeah, and unfortunately for us, the BSN program is not STEM.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're kind of very specialized, like pharmaceuticals, clinical, but not the BSN.
Yes. So yeah, that's why I always request international students to contact international office because I heard from a student like, hey, I did not go to my international office for the last 4 months. I'm like, that's not good at all. You have to go regularly and be in touch. Yeah. Any other questions from anyone? Also, you can email me later. You can Google my name and also Heather may give you my email address. I'm going to provide this recording to Heather, and Heather will give it to all of you. So if you have any question in future, you can let me know. If there's no other question, let me talk about J1. I forget to put that in my PowerPoint a little bit, and then we'll see if there's any other question. If not, after J1, we'll call it a day. So many international students, they come to America under J1 program, which is sometimes similar like F1, sometimes is different. And J1 is basically not for students. It's a basically exchange program, exchange visitor. So basically you come here to do some work, sometime in the form of education, but mostly it's a work. Some J1s have no attachment, no requirement to go back to your home country, which is normal. Some J1s come with a 2 year home requirement, meaning you have to go back to your home country, serve your country for 2 years, and then you can apply for green card. J1 is also very organization specific. Let's say if your J1 is sponsored by SAF State University, most of the requirements would be set by SAF State University, not USCIS, because J1 is not like F1. F1 is a kind of blanket service. Any university who takes international students, they follow a very certain rules and regulations. J1 is kind of opposite. J1 is kind of customized for the organization. So if you have any question about J1, I advise you to contact your international office, learn about your program. Like, let me give you one example. So if you have a 2-year home requirement, you can apply for waiver and get it waived. So there's two steps. The first one is to apply to US Department of State, get the waiver, then you apply to your local embassy of your country in America, probably in Washington D.C., get it waived, then you can apply for green card. Now, some school will allow you to apply for waiver, and after that, they can even renew the J1. Some school will not do it. It's okay. It depends on the school. So talk to your school, know whether they will be able to renew your J1 after the waiver or not. If they do not, then do not apply for waiver when you may need a renewal kind of thing. So it depends on the school, depends on the circumstance, but I'm just giving you. I think there's a text. Tafim, yeah. That's our email address and information. So if you have question, contact or anything, please feel free to do the consent, reach out to us. So yeah, if you have any question about J1, you can ask me question. I'll be happy to answer. I don't think there's any other question. Thank you very much, Heather. I'm going back, giving it back to you.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for attending, and thank you, Raju, and your team for setting this up, for connecting with us. Appreciate your information and appreciate your willingness to work with our students. And we hope to see you in Nacogdoches soon.
Yes, thank you very much. And I would like to thank Mohit Pradhan. He's a
Yes,
friend of mine. He helped me a lot, and he's a great person. So those who are participating here, he's also international student in SAF. So reach out to him if you need any
Thank you.
help, like a personal level help. Yeah.
Thank you, Raju. And I think Heather, she arranges everything, I'm grateful to her when I talk to her every time. Not me,
Yes.
all the international students, this office is like our second home,
Yeah.
You know, I like
thank
that.
you.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
environment. Anytime we can sit there, we can talk there. This is a place, then we can sit. This is a
Oh,
place
thank
we
Yeah.
you
can
so
talk.
much. Yeah, we welcome all the students. Yeah, please visit us. Don't wait
Yes, of course.
until you're applying for OPT. Come and get information before then.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, the university. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Mohit. And thank you all for giving me the opportunity to talk.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you all soon.
See you soon.
All right. Take care. Bye.